Dinnina jenna. Dinnina jenna.
Anu yana bas na misana bas da milgano bas gada misana gud misana gula de kono magala kai da fata kai butte so kai kullai wati udda itari udda mona.
Hello viewers, this is OBN Horn of Africa, our weekly program, Gada, in which we assess the process of the Gada system. Today I have a guest from historians. His name is Guyo Doyo, historian, and we will talk about the power transfer of the current year Borana Oromo, and stay tuned. Mr. Guyo, thank you for coming and welcome to the program.
All right.
Would you tell us about your personal background, please? A bit.
Yeah, as you have mentioned, I'm Guyo Doyo, a philosophy researcher.
Okay.
Since I do have my academic background on philosophy, both my first degree and postgraduate MA in philosophy, and I have been teaching philosophy course at various universities, starting from Bahirda University to Borana University, and thereby served as directors of public relations, Gada Studies, Gada Institute Studies, and various positions where I've been there.
Yeah, that's great. To begin with, would you brief us about the Gada system, what it is about?
Yeah, this is very comprehensive question, which I cannot put to detail in this short period of time. But when I try briefly, Gada is a system, as you have said, a very complex system that the Oromo people used to define themselves, direct their life, build generations from the very immemorial time to today. It's a political system, since it has its own structural designed principles and pillars of governances. It is an egalitarian system whereby those pillars, those very basic pillars, enabled people to enjoy the equality in terms of economics, in terms of political participation, cultural interaction, and so many things. Overall, it is a kind of a political, economical, and socio-cultural egalitarian system which the Oromo used to build generation. It's a generational system that we can't even confine to current definition of politics. It goes beyond the existing politics of generation of people, but it is a transgenerational, transcendental political system that the Oromo used to promote their life.
Okay, that's good. Would you tell us about the historical background of the political that the Oromo people has been practiced, specifically the Borana Oromo, how they practice this Gada system?
Yeah, this concern take us back so long to historical backgrounds in order to come to the foreground. The Gada system goes much longer than current studies, if you go back. People now, when you talk about the Borana Gada system, the immediate person that comes to our mind is a man called Gada Galgalo. Even the name Gada, people consider how as if the name Gada named after Gada Galgalo. But the living elders of Argadageti, because we use the elders, we don't have books much detail about Gada. We have elders that can narrate about this. These elders take the narration of Gada much far beyond Gadayo. Pre-Gadayo eras.
What was?
Yeah. Pre-Gadayo era, there were several epochs where the Oromo used to govern themselves in Gada system. Even the era of women tyranny, Akomanoye, was before Gadayo. The women tyranny, Akomanoye, was before Gadayo. And there was also, in the meantime, the period of Gada suspensions, like for about 84 years, Gada suspensions. Gadayo reformed all those interruptions in the Gada system. That's why we remember Gadayo Galgalo whenever we mention Gada system, but Gada exists so many years before Gadayo. Gadayo reformed it.
Okay.
Now the thing you mentioned as the Gada Borana. Now when I come to your point, I'm coming to Gadayo from the reform, like 576 years ago, right from now back. Gadayo reformed it. Gadayo reformed the Gada system into 5 parties. Lubshanan.
Okay.
Lubshanan, 5 parties now. The hitherto, the up to now functional system of the Lubshanan, in which each turn come to power, their own power after 40 years. One turn, which takes like 40 years, because the Gada power period terms of office is like 8 years. 8 times 5 is 40. Gada reformed this. That's why we say Gadayo Galgalo is.
That's why it came to our mind.
Our mind.
Yeah.
But the point is Gada Galgalo. Before the pre-Gada Galgalo era, there are living data even now. The actually existing data, facts that reflect what I'm saying about. Like for instance, Bariyaya Munyo. Now even in the ceremonial practice now going on every day. Borana mentioned Yaya Munyo. Yaya Munyo is pre-Gadayo era. And Gadayo reformed what the historians call the Gada Boro.
Okay.
Before Gadayo, all the Oromo Gada system, their counting system, the ruling class were one, and the Oromos were one. Even Borana were divided not as Sabogona of today, but as Loloi and Tulama. And Loloi and Tulamas are all about the Oromo. Since the reformed, the terms of office, as we all know, is 8 years for one Bagada. That means for one Luba. And for 5 parties, it will take like 40. We count now from Gadayo to today, the 72 turns, Marsa, the 72 rounds since Gadayo Galgalo. The upcoming Balli events will be the 72 rounds of power transitions since Gadayo Galgalo.
Okay.
This is I think the general description about the Borana Gada system.
That's great, really. Tell us about the Gada grades of. Actually, there is Karayu, Guji, and other areas, Oromos. What about the Gada grades of Borana Oromo?
Yeah, there are basic concepts that needs a detailed understanding. Age grades, class are very important. Class is all about the Luba, the Luba, Goges. The Borana do have 5 Goges, 5 Luba, as I've said. That is class. This egalitarian system probably not representative in the concept of democracy, but egalitarian and consensual system is based on that class. class system. The next is age. Age is about generation. The Gada can be defined from the age, like age is the border between generation. Generation comes and goes. Even the existing generations do have their own borders. That's why we have the Balli and the border, then Gammi, and the bordering other than we have this kind of generational hierarchy. These grades, this age defines not only how old you or that person is, but your roles, your responsibility in the society. It defines your roles. What is the role of the Balli, if at all there? What is the meaning of the Balli? Gada define this according to their age. What is the role of Gammi? What is the role of, and if you know Gada system really from its own organic and original point, you know where somebody is appropriate to come to the power. Gada do have the defined entry phase to the power, and well fixed exit. Now we have in the current democracy system the pre-election. The pre-election, we only know the constitutionally defined exit. Like for instance, this round, these terms, 2 terms of office at this year. But in the Gada system, you know where somebody is appropriate in age to come to power. For instance, in the Gada system, to come to the Gada power, you have to get married. That's basic requirement. You can't jump on this. Unless you married and build family, you can't be Gada. One of the basic requirement, prerequisite is this one. And then to get married, you must enter the age of Dori, which means like from 32 age. Before that, you are immature to get married. And then this is also defined according to the grades that you have said, the grades, the age grades. And now, since Gada reformed, because of the expansions and disparities and geographical movements, the Oromo, various Oromo group built their own, reformed their own Gada according to the area where they live, reformed their own law, like Makobi leader, like Gada was there, somebody else also. Because of these expansions and disparities of the Oromo people to manage their affairs at where they are under the Gada system, so various laws were promulgated. But the Borana looks like this one. The age grade system is all about generational system.
Yeah, it started from Gamme,
Gamme, Gugurdo, Raba, Dori, then Gada at 40. Gada at 40.
When it reached 40, it became
Gada. Then 48, the fixed exit, then Yuba. And then Yuba do have also, Yuba is more powerful than Bagada, by the way. One thing that people need to know is that according to your age, no one, Bagada is an active political ruler. Then after 48, then he became the Yuba. Yuba is more powerful than Bagada because Yuba oversees. Yuba is the supreme legal advisor to the Bagada. But people misunderstand that as if somebody is losing the power. But according to the age, generational responsibility, Yuba is a period where a Bagada's power shift into legal supreme powerful body. Then it goes on. Nobody lose power unless your age makes you out from the system.
Yeah, that's great. What about the leadership cycle? Actually, we have been talking on. Just to brief it.
Yeah, leadership cycle, as I said, people are all somewhere in the action. The Balli are in the action, in the ritual action, or some defined roles. Gamme some defined roles, and Dori. These all are in some according to their age, according to their appropriate age. They are in some roles. Leadership, as far as leadership matters, then those five class, probably loosely defined as parties, like parties. We call it Gogesa. One Luba takes power and rules for 8 years. That is one of Bagada period. In this period, the three Gada, when you say the three Gada, it's not single. Gada has a kind of confederate body. Now the Borana Gadaa, Gada System, according to their own assemblies, they do have their own assemblies. The three Gadas do have their own assemblies, like Chafi, coming together one Gada for one Gada period, which takes like 8 years. Then they rule community, society for 8 years. However, the people do have, the mass do have their own checking point at Gumi at their forest terms, Gumi Gayo. Okay. It is once a Bagada takes power, then after 4 years, Gumi settle for checking the law, probably if law needs modification, or if new interval comes, discussion, or if this Bagada has weakness or somebody, in this case. Despite this, the Bagada rule for 8 years. This is called Gadoma, Goro. Now, Goro. Each 5 Koges, those classes do have this kind of roles and responsibility at their own time. Until the 40 years come, the full round of those 5 Luba, Kogesa, then the build generation according to this, and leadership goes according to the generational interactions.
That's great. Would you brief my audience about the power transfer process? What are the major activities carried out there during this power transfer ceremony?
Probably it is we can say power, but it goes beyond power because, as I said, the Gada nurture somebody who is going to take power, not election. Nurture. For instance, for the coming, I think the third, probably, Borana Gadaa is already known. Okay. Not only this, the upcoming. Yeah, he was elected, I think, like for 5 years ago.
To be an Bagada.
To be an Bagada after 20 years. After 20 years. Therefore, society nurtured this son. It is a society.
But it comes through just about all process.
All the process. Leadership process, legal process, and the wisdom that position requires. He practiced all this. Therefore, one thing that we have to know is that it is a society that nurture their leaders, not only elect. That's why I say it's not simply power. Now, practicing all these cultural issues, being grown up in all those legal issues, achieving, retaining all the wisdom that position requires. At the age of 32, this man, this matured boy, entered into Dori, got married, have some families. Yeah. These are all the requirements. Sure. To be what? To have what we call the power now, Balli. At the age of 40, then he came to this what now we call the. So he grown up in all this situation and practicing in all and being nurtured in all this, and come to the Gada. This is where we can mention the Balli. Balli is a process now, which goes beyond the power, which goes beyond the election. It is a process which takes more than 32 years. Now we can define whether it is a power or something else. Now in this process, let me loosely say the outgoing of Bagada, but he doesn't go anywhere. The shift of responsibility and social important role, and the coming Bagada, they will have their own ritual practice, like we have been observing the Borana Balli process for the last 5 or 6 months. Borana practice all this preparation not alone, but with also other people around. Like also the consort will have a very imperative role in this Balli process. The ceremony called Gurgur Naka, Borana go to the Gada assembly, go to Konso, and they took very important and basic materials, inputs that required for this process from Konso, like kalach. The Borana take it from Konso, and the honey, dam, so many things, and the so-called sadeta, what a Bagada make on their head. And these all are given by the Konso. And also arbores are really Oromo. Probably some days in the future we will know this. Ya Arbora is the senior leader, is the senior Ya of the Borana. Arbora named after this, but unfortunately today they are somewhere else. Now all these people do have their own roles in the process of Balli, even Somali. The Somali clan called Ejiwama. They do have very critical roles in this. Bakalafaji is taken from Ejiwama. So many people do have their own cultural, social contribution to the Balli process. That's something that we have to know. Then after all these requirements is fulfilled, there are active ritual practice like Odabulu. Recently we have seen it, Odabulu, and Kalu Mudu, the anointment of the Kalu. After all these events are undergone, they come to power transition called Balli, and Balli is, I think, the final steps where the coming of Bagada takes power from the outgoing, the shifting of Bagada, and it looks like this one.
Perfect. What the role of elders in these all processes? What should they do there, and what is expected from them? Elders are the basic, can I say, tools or whatever in the Gada process. When I say these are a society that nurture their leadership right from childhood, how this nurturing takes place. Advisory roles are there. These are from the elders. So many social roles that shapes individuals, that keeps society's order, are the roles of elders. In the conflict resolutions, in the Gada ritual practice. Now, if you go to Borana and know really about that society and want to know the culture, want to know the laws, you ask the elders, not Bagadas. People think as if a Bagada knows all about Gada. No, there are people who knows about Gada and even oversee Bagadas. These are elders. Jars Gorsa. There is Jars Gosa.
Jaarsa Argaa Dhageettii. These are historians, well acknowledged people with legitimate acceptance from the community that they know. With all the responsibility, elders are there, and these elders facilitates the Gadooma, the process that leads you to Balli. There are so many events every day even. These are led by the elders, those who knows, those who remember even much back what I've talked about. They consult, they resolve, like if conflict happens, they guide if some rules and some principles are forgotten by the society. They guide ritual events, ritual practice, and cultural ceremonies are all the roles of elders. The roles of elders starts right from the Olla, the small units, Reira, Deda, then to the Gada. Issues below Gada, below the Gada Council, right down to the Olla units, are all governed by the elders. That's why we call it Jar Summa. It's a kind of an institution where the roles of elders are really critical.
Interesting. You know, Gada system privileges women in every aspect. What's the role of women in this power transfer process?
I think Gada system, when we talk about Gada system, the role of women is supreme. In the Gada system, women are Wayu. Wayu probably the English translation distorts the real meaning. Wayu, especially human, probably. Especially when I say unique in terms of value. Ati Wayu, Dubarti Wayu. Women are superhuman, a very valuable human. In politics, there is no Gada practice, Gada cultural or ceremonial practice that male conduct without women, the involvement of women. There is no legal issue.
There's the involvement of women.
Even when women reject, historically, during the Gadoma of Dawe Gobbo, he was who reformed the Oromo law. Okay. The existing law of the Borana were reformed by Dawe Gobbo. Some elements of those reforms, which were rejected at that time by women, were totally rejected, invalid and void. Amazing. These were in like 15th century. Women proved their veto power in Gada system, 15th century. Imagine in the American Constitution, women are mentioned in 1920.
Almost in
1920
or 20th century.
Yeah, but the Borana women proved practically their veto power during the Dawe Gobo Yaya.
Which means in the 15th century.
Exactly. Even George Washington did not come to America. The first American president was unborn at that time. So the role of women in the Gada system is very critical. In the process of Balli, Bannato, it looks like election. The person whom the woman gave their voice have high chance to pass. In the Jiloda, Bannato is practiced. Somebody mentioned by the woman positively, who have got the woman voice for the coming election, has almost 99% to pass. Woman voice unchallenged. So the role of women is very enormous in the Gada system, up to the Balli.
Okay, interesting. How do you relate the power transfer of under Gada system with the modern electoral system? Well, actually, it's the conventional.
As I've said, Gada system is an egalitarian social, cultural, and political system. People mention democracy when the concept of Gada come to their mind. Like when Gada come to our mind, then we mention Gada Walgaro province, I said. But people mention democracy first when the debate about Gada comes. But democracy is the least element of the Gada. If at all, the Gada democracy is a consensual democracy. It's not competitive. It's a consensual democracy where the element of democracy is there, but consent is important. Consent is not coercive, but collective consciousness is important. So current electoral democracy is about competition. For what? For a power. For a power. But in the Gada system, consensual democracy and the public legitimacy of the system is there. Public legitimacy and the popular acceptance is there. Whereby the system itself is built upon the popular acceptance and legitimacy from the very grassroots level, not competition. So current electoral democracy is about competition for power, which overlooks so many things that human life requires, human life needs, like even the use of language. In the Gada system, no matter how you compete for the power, using an abusive language is forbidden. Abusive language. Now look at the American electoral competition. Campaigns, very abusive in human terms, terminology that they use, but in the Gada system, that's taboo word. Yes. But in the Gada system, it's forbidden. Second, in the Gada system, a privilege is given for women, for their vote and for their voice. Privilege is given for the woman, but in the electoral democracy competitive, not at all. Pretension is there, how I know, but not at all. And also, this current electoral democracy democratize evil than solving the problem. It democratizes evil. It enjoys and decentralize evils. But in the Gada system, people look after truth. We don't tolerate evils. Like the current electoral democracy, we don't tolerate evil. We approach it, we prove it, we look for the truth. And we make it consensual. But current electoral democracy democratize injustice and decentralize injustice in the name of tolerance. We don't tolerate that. We tolerate humanity. We look for justice. That's why Gada system, despite all those challenges that historian mentions, despite all those imperialistic pressure, survived to today, because the very pillar is unshakable since it never and ever democratized evil.
Interesting, really. From your observation, how is the upcoming Balli transfer process of Borana Oromo is undergoing?
Fortunately, I'm a member of the Balli committee.
Okay. Interesting.
For the last 4 months, we have been doing on this. Balli is an part of Gada process. This community can independently independently, given those support and traction from their neighboring people, independently they can accomplish this process. But we help, we assist, like even your media assist to discover and expose to the audience. Despite our assistance, they can independently carry out
they perform for a long time.
perform. But now, to catch up with what time requires, because it is the age of, as the white people say, the age of informations, expansions, which is knowledge, which is power. We need to let the world know this. Given this, we have been following, evaluating the process, and the process of the Gadom, the basic process. Recently, as I mentioned, the Gada team went to the council to fulfill the basic requirements, and Gurgur Naqa, well accomplished. I thank the council people really, and the Arbore, and all those cultural, very critical part of the Gadom is accomplished. Then we have seen Jiloda, which is conducted for 27 consecutive days. Your media was there. Yeah. I thank you. Well covered and well communicated, and the cultural contents were well done. And also recently, the Mudu Kallu, the Kallu anointment. This is basic and very critical elements in the Gada, because Kallu is a symbol of truth, the symbol of justice in the Gada system. The Gada leaders take kumbi from Kallu. This kumbi what legitimizes the Gada power. It legitimizes, like the Western people swear for their leadership in the name of the Bible or in Quran. Then we have kumbi. Then this kumbi is given by Kallu. The Kallu anointment accomplished last week. Now we are directly going to Balli process. I think like a month. So it's going well, I think.
Yeah, that's great. There is a final transition of power. When it took place, of course the preconditions are there.
Yeah.
When the final power transition took place.
Yeah, I can't mention the exact date.
Okay.
Because the Oromo cosmology is different.
Okay.
The Oromo cosmology is different. It's not like the calendar we use. There are so many things, indicators that must be considered every day. The position of the stars, the position of the suns, so many things. Daha is very important.
Like Milky?
Milky is what you see from Daha.
Okay.
Indicator. So these all indicators are considered. Previously, you mentioned the role of Jarole, and there are experts on this, Ayantus and Ayan Edus. So every events are guided by this. So we can't put a solid day like on this day, on that day. But it is in Gurandala, the coming months, at a place called Badasa, Arero. Badasa, the place is well known,
yeah.
And the month is well known, and the exact date depends on those conditions.
Okay. What should be done to replicate this peaceful and democratic power transfer practices in the modern political practice in Ethiopia?
I think recently in this reform, Ethiopia reform, so many good things happened. Even at least the use of terminologies. The very indigenous concepts that is unique in Gada are now included in the the political language today in Ethiopia,
Yeah.
like the concept Badadin, like Balli. I hope someday, not very far from this,
The near future.
in the near future, and I hope even the Balli will even reside in the constitution of that language. So we have it in the curriculum now today. We have it in the curriculum, which is very important. We have some institutions named in the Gada terminology, like Busa Gonofa. We have so many things. So this comes as a result of so many challenges and contributions from the intellectuals, from the researchers, from even freedom fighters. Contribution of all this results in this. But now, this is not the end. When good things happen, I think we don't have to forget ourselves.
Yeah.
UNESCO registered, not for free. As it was a result of so many struggles. But the registration or the UNESCO profile is not what we fought for. It's not the end of our struggle. We have to make Gada system the means of our everyday regulator, the channel of our everyday communication, the lived actuality, the felt situation, and the expected reality must be included in our life. We don't have to be detached from what we belong to.
Yeah, when we do this,
Yeah.
the Gada system will be promoted to the
Promoted
global
and
community.
then exactly. Thank you. Your media is doing very well. Good job, I think. So with cooperations, particularly at such an opportunity, this Balli will, I think, it's calling for all the Oromo people to come together like Recha. The Bagada Governor Ola, I thank him. He made a very great contribution to this Borana Balli. He came physically there, like a month ago. He visited. He did a very great job to the Borana Balli. Therefore, it is not only the segmented Balli called the Borana, that is where the Oromos are. So we have to just contribute.
Yeah, that's great. What's the role of academia in promoting this precious Gada system to the global community? What is expected from all the stakeholders?
I think in the academia, now we have so many academic institutions. We have universities, we have colleges, we have research institutes, centers, whatever. So these are there for some purpose. They do have their own center of excellences. Fortunately, today we have even the institutes at the national level named after Gada, in the university like Bulehora. This is very great things. So these institutions should be able to use their intellectuals, their resource there, to explore even what the white have done good job to the Gada system.
Yes.
In their studies. The white people.
Yeah, we can witness that.
Yeah, we have so many white people, white researchers who have contributed so many things to the Gada system. We have also non-Oromo like Professor Asmarom Legese who did so many things. We should learn from them, and we should be up to our own rectification, our own responsibility, our own names. So institution must organize their resource, their intellectuals to safeguard this Gada system. Even not only our institution, universally, even UNESCO has responsibility. Once it's registered, once it is in their profile, it has a responsibility. Only a follow-up is needed.
True.
So academias, people in the academy should make a research, not for the sake of conducting research formality, but there is a very good concept. Recently, I published a book. It's coming soon, maybe. Korkorti.
Okay.
We need Korkorti. This is a concept that I can't put into simple English. We need Korkorti. We have to look at ourselves. We have to be able to reflect ourselves. We have to be able to oversee ourselves. All these comprehensive things are in the hands of the academia, I think.
Yeah, that's good. If you have a final remark, and you have a chance to invite all Oromo people to participate on that event.
Yeah, sure. I thank you. I thank your media very much. This is this Balli is a great opportunity. It comes once in 8 years. It comes once in 8 years. That is the border of a generation. Therefore, it is a generational opportunity. A generational opportunity. So we have to be able to use this opportunity as the Oromo. I think Gada is very comprehensive. Even Irecha is a branch of Gada. Very. So this comprehensive event is calling for all, like the Abagada Governor Ola did it. We all have to participate and contribute what we can do. I think it's enough to say this.
Dear Guyodoyo, really I appreciate for your valuable analysis, and I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dear viewers, that brings to the end. You have got some information about the Balli or power transfer of the Gada system of the Borana Oromo. And till next edition, have a wonderful one.
Dinnina jenna.
Ano na bas na misana bas na milkano bas gada misana gada milkano gada misana gula de milkano gula de. Kono magana kai dabar fataga ibutte suka isuki kullai wati